What it do? Today I want to talk about simple tips how you can improve your general health, right? So, first thing that I want to talk about is the biggest one because I chose this as the first one because everything basically flows out of this, and that is the first one is removing distractions and steering away from distractions because that's so important because you have goals, right? And your mind, if your mind is focused, then you will always be reminded about those goals, and somehow within your schedule, right, you will fill in places and fill in the time and do the work in order to get closer to those goals, right? But when you're distracted from what you truly want, and you're no longer to focus on what truly matters to you, which is achieving achieving the goals that you want to achieve, right? So the distractions that I want to talk about is, first off, probably social media, right? And there are a lot of different distractions, but apps like TikTok and things like that, right? I I won't say they have no benefits because I have a TikTok account and things like that, right? But if you're just scrolling and getting all those, input within you, right? And same goes for shorts, right? Shorts, TikTok is just basically a different app, but it's still based on shorts, right? On just short frames, short pieces of information. And there's nothing wrong with that, but if you get that too much, right, you will become distracted and you will stop focusing on the things that you truly need to focus on. So social media is something that you should drastically lower if that is something that you catch yourself doing too much, things like scrolling and things like that, right? I already talked before. I already talked before about why avoiding scrolling is so important. You can check that out on my account too. I think it's a valuable video, so feel free to check that out. But yeah, those things are just, you need to be mindful of that, right? Because otherwise it will, the flow of information will become too much for you, right? And it will become too quick. It will come too quick, and distraction is the only result of that eventually. So that's something that you also need to understand, right? You're a human being, you're not a robot. Eventually distraction will always creep up into your mind, right? But your task is to keep it as clean as possible. But under certain circumstances, you cannot keep your mind clean, and distraction creates only more distraction. So yeah, very important. Now we're gonna talk about a second thing, and that is remaining a clean diet, right? So I know it's hard, right? Because probably you don't live in the best um best situation to maximize your diet, right? Like every one of us, you probably don't have your own garden where you grow your own food, things like that, and that you have 100% control over what you eat and what you drink, right? We need to get our things from supermarkets. That's not really a problem because you can still do a lot of work. Things such as, if you're not drinking a lot of water, right, and your main form of of consumption, right, of liquid consumption is like things like cola, then you need to change that very quickly, right? Then you need to drink more water. Try to get at least 2 liters of water. Water must always be your main form of liquid consumption, the form of the thing that you drink, right? Because at the end of the day, the only thing that you truly absorb from things such as cola is the water and the sugar, right? No matter how you put it, water is always the form of liquid, right, that the human body craves and what the human body needs. And it will always look for that component within all the things that you drink. So let's say you drink things like alcohol, right? The only thing that truly will be used beneficially within your body is the water, right? The rest of the toxins will only be dealt with by the liver, and all of the sugars will be turned into fat, right? So water is basically the only liquid component that your body truly can handle. Well, when we talk about drinking, right? Of course, things such as fruit, right? Things fibers are very different than things such as sugar. So of course, like smoothies, that's different, right? Those are fruits. So if you are a sugar head, right? Somebody that you know from yourself, yeah, I crave sugar, then try those things, right? Smoothies instead of Coca-Cola or whatever you use to drink, right? Switch that sugary, switch that artificial sugar drink into a natural sugar drink, right? My one of just today, right? I went to the store and got me a orange juice, like the one fresh out of the machine, right? Just pressed from the oranges, fresh one. So try to do that. That can definitely already improve a huge part of your diet, right? So that's about the drinking part. And when we talk about eating, right, we just want simple things that we can improve very quick, right? Try to get at each meal, right? Try to get some greens in every day. Try to get some fruit in, right? But especially your big meal, right? Your dinner, right? When your your last big meal, that should be a very nutritious one. You at least need some greens, a good form of carbs, right? Things as rice, maybe potatoes, sweet potatoes, very good. Things like that. Like I've said, greens, and if you want a piece of meat, but it doesn't always have to be like that, because I used to be a vegetarian for like 1.5 years, and I noticed a lot of benefits from that as well. But I also noticed a lot of benefits from eating meat, but I kind of mix it up. I got my days where I'm just kind of like, you could consider it like vegetarian life, and then I got my days where I just eat a bit more meat and things like eggs and things like that. But yeah, and um, so yeah, you can just experiment with that, right? Being a vegetarian has its benefits, like I've said, and eating meat can also have its benefits. So that's not a problem. You need to um balance that out, right? Because maybe you're coming from where you eat too much meat, and now it's just slowing you down because you just add up a lot of fat that comes with all the um meat and things like that, right? Or maybe you don't eat it enough, can also be. But that really depends, right? So try to test out what is your baseline, right? At what level do you function well? Okay, are you more leaning toward a lot of meat, or more leaning towards a lot of fruits and nuts? I think every person needs those things, but it really depends on a lot of things. It can also have a impact on like what race are you. A lot of things contribute to making up your diet. So right, so you need to be testing out things, but test out with the things that you already know, like, okay, at least these things are healthy. They might not be the best things, but they're healthy, right? Um don't go testing out with bad things when it comes to diet, right? You already know what's bad for you. Things with a lot of sugar, things like that, right? So yes, diet is very very important. And now we're gonna talk more about a very important habit for me, right? Because I feel like my spiritual journey kind of started with it. Not even spiritual journey, but just my entire journey of going from non-productive, like not doing anything, right? So not doing anything to starting to work out, and starting to challenge myself, put myself in new situations, learn new skills, got new relationships, things like that. And that was just working out, right? That's why that one is very important for me, right? um Working out, each human being needs to work out, right? You need to see it like this. Before we could go to the store, right, whenever you needed something, you needed to run behind it, right? You needed to chase the dinner, or at least you need to go hiking to go to the berry bush, right, and pick the berries for food, or you need to go hunting with a spear, or things like that. So working out, pushing your body, and just gaining more mastery over your body will serve you huge benefits, because you will just gain a stronger mind and things like that, right? You can go to gym, you can do the gym approach, or you can do a martial art approach, which in my opinion, there are both like A and B, right? Eventually you need to have both in your life. You need to be good at one skill, I would say, like a martial art, right? Or it can also be football, things like that, right? You need to also experiment with that. Or it can be a mixture of those two, a mixture of different sports. But you need to have one skill that you truly like express yourself with, such as football or kickboxing, something that really is your individual sport. And then you have the general working out, which is just having weights, doing weights, and doing calisthenic exercises, just improve the overall strength of your body. But it has nothing to do with it actually functioning in fields of really mastering the body. Like each time you football, right, you master the movement of your foot when it comes to the ball, right? That is an individual point of working out, right? It's focused on football, and that's good, but you also need the working out part, or your individual sport, such as me, right, can also be a martial art, right? So I do kickboxing, so that you could say that is my functional part of working out, right? And then the general part of working out is me just going to the gym and improving my general strength. So yeah, a good starting point is always just improve your general strength, because if you 9 out of 10 times, I would say we're never at the point where our body is done, but especially when you're young and you haven't been as disciplined, then you probably need to really improve on your body. So that's something that you should definitely start up on, right? And then we're gonna talk about the next habit, which is semen retention. That's habit number 4, and that one is also very important, right? Your semen. Why this is important? It's kind of like a taboo thing to talk about, right? Because nobody talks about it, but all those distractions are still pushed up on you if you don't learn about this. So semen retention is just the art of holding on to your semen, right, and not wasting it through masturbation and things like that, right? Nowadays your phone, right, can give you the sense of comfort, right? A sense of, okay, here you can get your piece of the action, right? You can grab your phone and go on these sites and do this and that, right? But that's not eventually what truly evolution is about, right? Because that's why it's called a virtual reality. Your it comes with a cost, right? You can get your quick reward from the virtual reality, but you're always, first off, you're wasting your seed, right? It's you only have so much, right? You come in this world with your gift, and you can not just waste that each time, because you're also gonna get older, right? So there's a thing such as sperm count. Those things are very real. Each time you let that out, right, it has consequence, and those can be good if it's things that are if it's things that are, if it's being done in moderation and with a natural female partner, right? So then there's nothing wrong with those things. But when you just do it on a screen, you are not using your head and you're just only using your root chakra, right? You're just only focusing on the quick buzz to get the dopamine. Because when you are in chase of a partner, right, you need to do the actual work, right? You need to go up to a girl and talk to her, and through that you can eventually come to your goal, which is to be intimate with her, right? But you first need to kind of go through the obstacle. But when you have the chance to not do that on the phone, your body or your mind will probably condition itself like, oh yeah, let's do that. Just it's the quick fix, right? Grab the phone and masturbate. You have the same feeling, but it's not the same thing. And that's very important. That's why you need to be on semen retention, right? Excuse me. So yeah, and those are the 4 habits. And this one is a bonus one, because I would say first focus on those 4, but this bonus is also still very important, and that is get a job which is sales orientated, right? Sales orientated just prepares you for actual growth, right? To be sales focused is to know what you want, right? You want the sale. You want to be the person that's been these situations, right? Like I've said, you might need to talk up to a girl and put yourself in the best light, right? In the best spotlight, and things such as sales are just preparing you to do that, because you learn how to be how to get what you want, right? Through skills such as negotiation, persuasion, tonality, right? And all those things, body language. So yeah, try to maybe look for things such as a call center or go door to door knocking like I'm doing, and that will just prepare you to quickly throw out a pitch, right? You learn how to pitch, you learn how to present ideas, you learn how to navigate the world of getting what you want in the most smoothest way, right? Through healthy, good negotiation, right? So yeah, try to look for those things. Try to look for a job. It's also very competitive, right? You're working with commission, so each sale will only, one sale leads to more sales, right? So yeah, it's very competitive, so try to do that. And yeah, that was the video for today. And yeah, thank you for watching. If you want to see more content like this, feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you at the next video. I'm out.